Crowdfunding has become an increasingly popular way of promoting financing for innovative projects, allowing startups and entrepreneurial endeavors to access diversified sources of capital. Statistics have shown a stark increase in the amount of businesses and projects using crowdfunding as a key financial source. However, is crowdfunding really all it's cracked up to be? Leah James is a producer who got her big break working on Baz Luhrmann's epic, The Great Gatsby. Acting as an assistant to the executive producer, Leah learnt the ins and outs of film production. She used the skills she developed on set to start her own production company in 2012, Hello There Productions. Hello There have produced 3 short films, and Leah had a mixed experience using crowdfunding for these projects.
So my experience with crowdfunding was both positive and negative. In 2012, I launched 2 crowdfunding campaigns for short films, one for a short drama and one for a short comedy. Both of those were extremely successful. We had goals of around 5,000 to 7,000 each, and we managed to raise those in about 15 or 20 days, I think, from memory. But then I launched another campaign in 2013 for a 3rd short film. We had a bit of a higher budget, but we actually didn't get much of a response at all. I think that was because we had already exhausted our relationships with the previous 2 films. So the people that were supporting us through crowdfunding were primarily family and friends and business contacts and people within 6 degrees of separation. And by the time we reached that 3rd film, most people had already donated to our campaigns and were cash poor for that sort of investment. So I think crowdfunding is twofold. It is about building relationships and contacts and also about raising money. But I found in my experience, most of the money I raised through crowdfunding was through relationships that I already had. Family, friends, business contacts, people in the local community who were connected to me through social media via someone else. I have 1,200 friends on Facebook. Not all of them knew what I was up to at that particular time, and launching a crowdfunding campaign helped them know what projects I was working on at the time. So I probably wouldn't use crowdfunding again for a short film, mainly because I'm now making things that are a bigger budget. So I found the sweet spot for crowdfunding was $5,000 to $10,000. The moment that I tried to raise more than that was when I failed. Crowdfunding is definitely a legitimate method of raising money. I think it's dangerous to rely on crowdfunding alone if you don't have a plan B. Particularly for a creative project, if you're working with a team that you're promising, to whom you're promising the project will move forward, because like with our 3rd experience, it doesn't always work, and so you often then have to go back to the drawing board and find other sources of income. I don't think that crowdfunding is a cop-out, but I do think we need to be careful, because the more prevalent crowdfunding becomes, the more people will get crowdfunding fatigue and not be able to support as many projects. I think a lot of people miss vital elements when they're setting up a crowdfunding campaign. But I think it's really important that you have a deadline. Without a deadline, people fail to donate because they don't see the urgency. So it's important not to set your campaign too long, but not to have it too short as well, so that you've got enough time to get the message out. It's also really important to have a well thought out image to your campaign. Things like logos and videos and artwork are very important for people to identify with the project and see that you actually are passionate about it and you've already done the work on it. For all of our campaigns, bar one, we did a video about the project with the key creatives. That's really important. I think people like to see you, know who you are, and also they want to make sure it's the same Leah James that they know from Facebook that they're investing in. So, they're my tips for crowdfunding.
Jeremy Minotto works for a startup company called Ninja Blocks. Ninja Blocks are small, cloud-enabled computers that can sense their environment by receiving input from a variety of sensors and can alter their surroundings by controlling appliances like lights, heaters, and air conditioners. The product offers gesture control, in-home location for items like mobile phones. Jeremy had an extremely successful experience with crowdfunding for this product, raising 7 times the target for one of the campaigns.
Our first Kickstarter campaign was in 2012, about halfway through the year, and it raised about $100,000. The second one, which we just finished in January of this year, 2014, raised On Kickstarter's records raised about 700,000 roughly, so about 7 times as much. You can validate your idea really quickly, and get a round of people that are willing to be your advocates, or perhaps your free advertising for a period of time. It does actually help you refine a few things when you actually go through the process. You need to be clear on your vision, clear on what you're selling, clear on how your supporters are going to support you, on what levels, what they're going to get in return, be it a t-shirt, be it a thumbs up, thank you, or like a credit, their name on a credit somewhere, or take them out to dinner, shout them a movie, give them a specialized version of your product. There's so many ways to engage the public and your customers around that. It is a massive PR exercise. From day one, as soon as you hit go on the green button to say launch my crowdfunding campaign, you are pretty much in the public eye of or with your product. And generally there's some stats that would say that they could forecast a successful crowdfunding campaign within 4 days of it being launched. There's this whole statistical models around what happens, and it's quite interesting what happens and how the community kind of first how do they hear about your crowdfunding campaign, because obviously you'll be advertising to friends and family first. It's generally they're usually your first hump, and you might have a previous mailing list or not, but generally you would be blasting it out to everybody you know. That's your current circle. They would have a certain amount of traction, and they will give you your first hump, and it's generally probably around halfway that you might see another jump and another traction. You kind of want, as soon as you launch, you kind of want to get into reviews or talk to bloggers, talk to people that are going to be vocal, like vocal people on Twitter, influential magazines or influential news journalists that can write about your thing. The latest one was a massive surprise. We earmarked, like our target was quite conservative. We only really wanted 115,000 to begin with. We hit that within 48 hours, so around 36 hours we hit 115, 120. I was just completely amazed. I had my doubts at the start, going, oh geez, are we going to be able to do this? But for us, it was a validation in terms of, all right, the public is ready for this product at this time in this particular market. So it was great timing. In retrospect, we actually only realized it was really good timing at the end. Your target goal, you don't want it to be too high. It can't be too high so that it seems unattainable, but it can't be too low that you can't deliver your product with not enough money.